Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Tuesday night and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. A couple of people in the room already. I want to give a shout out to Rome. I want to give a shout out to Kid. This is a great Tuesday. I'm kind of like looking forward to doing this one. I don't think I put in the description what I'm working on today, so allow me to let you know. I decided to like go back and try to do a another coffee painting because it's been a while since I've done one. And I wanted to do something like a little small woodland creature, so I picked a groundhog. And the main reason why is because whenever I go walking in the woods, I see these groundhogs all over the place. So I wanted to work on that tonight. But I appreciate you guys stopping in. I wasn't here like last Thursday. I apologize about that so much, but I'm here now, so we're going to do this. It's going to be great. So if you're into coffee paintings, great. You're gonna love the show. If you're not, then hey, you know what? You can hang out and chat with us anyway. It's gonna be great. All right. So hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. Sorry, I'm a little winded because I had to run to the store and get some tape because I'd run out. But I'm here drinking my bourbon. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do use some Bigfoot. Dang it! I never see Bigfoot, and I keep forgetting to do Bigfoot. But we'll get a Bigfoot in here before too long. Um, Also, I do want to announce that at some point in the near future, me and Rome are going to do like a joint show. We were talking about that. I think it's going to be kind of cool. Um, as you guys know, Rome's been on this channel for quite some time. He likes to hang out with us, so I think a little dual um, show would be awesome, like a dual stream. He does a lot of art as well, so both artists doing just I don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, we still have to talk about it. We're gonna figure it out, and I think it's going to be cool. So with these coffee paintings, what I like to do is I like to start off by putting in like a big puddle. If you've watched any of these before, you kind of know the drill. I like to put in a puddle just like that. I like this splotch here, it's great. And then I like to lean it a little bit. That's why I put it on this other board. That's just so that I can kind of lean it a little bit and get these nice little drippings there. So that's pretty cool. Clean this up just a little bit. Yeah, Roman, it's gonna be cool. Again, I don't know what we're gonna work on. Maybe we can do Bigfoots together. That'd be cool. But I think it'll be fun to do that. Hey, okay, Larry's in the house. Uh, Larry, I am so happy that you did not get blown away by that hurricane. I know that it came through your neck of woods, and I'm so happy that you're still with us. All right, so after I get this little splotch in here, then I kind of try to come in here and just kind of do a little bit of light coffee painting just to kind of see where everything is. Um, I talk a lot about doing these coffee paintings whenever I do them. It's been a while. I'm trying to remember what the last coffee painting I did was, and it's been a while. I'd have to go back and look, but um, I think it was like a wildlife picture because that's usually what I do with these coffee paintings. I'm still building up kind of like a catalog of these things for that coffee shop. I've got way too many that like way more than they can hang up. But I kind of want like a nice selection, maybe for like a portfolio, so I can put it on a website and say, "Look, check out my stuff." Those gators around the floodwaters. Yeah, I'm so happy that you guys are in here. If anybody is out there in hurricane affected territory and you need some assistance at all, you let me know, and I will try to make that happen. It was bad for a lot of folks down south. Keep them in your prayers. Yeah, exactly. That's what I hear. I mean, these hurricanes, they're never very nice, but I mean, I feel like two in a row, that's a bit excessive. They didn't really hit the same place, I don't think, but maybe they did. I don't know. But anyway, two in a row, that's just ridiculous. I mean, it's not like one is not ridiculous, but too is just kind of crazy. But yeah, I was thinking about doing a stream like last Thursday, and then I kind of got a little sidetracked. And my understanding was that's when the storm was going to be. So I finally just ended up like, well, nobody's going to watch this anyway. So I ended up thinking that that's okay. We'll do it some other time. I love painting and coffee. Like I haven't done these in a while. Every time I do it, it just lights up my face. I'm enjoying it. Oh, we got some more people in the room. Cool. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Um, there's another one I'm coming. Oh, another hurricane. That's terrible. I know it is hurricane season, but we're already into mid-October by now. Like it should be done. Hey, because I can. How's it going? I gotta start doing some Halloween pictures, some scary pictures, because it's that season. I went and had my first pumpkin spice latte the other day. I'm probably the only guy that likes those things. I don't know. Like there's no shame in liking pumpkin spice flavored stuff. I know it's gotten a reputation for being like the drink of choice for sorority girls, but there is nothing wrong with liking pumpkin spice. I love pumpkin spice everything. I look forward to it every year. Um, but I just had my first pumpkin spice latte of the year the other day, and it was good. It was really good. Scooby Doo would be cool. Yeah, would be cool. Yeah. So all you guys out there in hurricane affected areas, you guys, hopefully you guys will pull through. I'm sure you will, but so again, we're just kind of like outlining the little guy. I don't know what's a good name for this guy. Hey, Nomadic, how's it going? Nomadic's a friend of the show as well. I should have saved the groundhog for February, but I didn't even start doing coffee paintings really until February, so it's been a little while since then. I feel like there's no need to wait to do a groundhog. Anytime's a good time for a groundhog. What should I do for a spooky painting or drawing? Wanna Last year was pretty good. I still have those things. I was gonna send them to somebody, but I never got around to it. I am backlogged on things I need to send out. I really have like a lot of things. If you're waiting for something from me, I apologize. I'll get it out in the mail. Um, I've just been like really, really distracted lately. Um, got a lot of things on my plate that I'm trying to get done and worked out. That's why I look forward to these shows because they give me a chance to relax. I like it. This is this is my relaxation time. Hopefully it is yours as well. Jeremy, I think I was getting those. Are you talking about the Halloween pictures I was talking about? The paintings? I'm not sure. It's possible. If All right, I'm gonna dig deep and check my memory. If I haven't accidentally promised and my emails, if I haven't accidentally double promised them to anybody, they're yours, sir. Yeah, the set of three. Um, there was somebody who had like some kids or something who was really into like Halloween, and I need to uh I need to confirm that like they wanted something not these before I come off of them. Because no offense, sir, I'm usually prone to sending things to like families and stuff. If like they have kids and stuff, I think that's kind of cool. But if I can't, if that's not the case, they're yours. I seem to remember promising to somebody, and now that you mention it, it was probably you. So I think we're safe here. But I like that style. I did a couple of those things. I did the ones for Halloween, and then I did a cat staring at a Christmas tree for Christmas in that same style. And I think they both turned out really good. Like I don't do a lot of paintings, so I was pretty happy with how those turned out. And I don't know why I just never bothered dealing with them again. That kind of stuff. I think I like to focus on stuff that is really repeatable, and I'm not 100% sure that style of stuff is like repeatable. I'm always afraid that like I'm gonna try a one of those things and it's just not gonna work out. So maybe I need to just build up some confidence and just tackle them. That'd be cool. Oh yeah, it has that shoulder healed. Hopefully. Um, for those of you who were following that project Skydrop thing that we were talking about, that ended in some controversy. So like I don't know if you guys have been following the drama on that, but I apologize for recommending that treasure hunt. It was a shit show. Um, apparently the people the people who ran it, it was still pretty cool as far as the treasure hunt goes, but the problem is the little golden sculpture that you found that had like it had some words on it and they were like encoded in like some ancient language or something like that, and you had to decipher those. And supposed to like have opened a Bitcoin wallet that would have like the bounty money in it, right? And they collected a lot of bounty money. They collected like $87,000 in bounty money, right? So half of the all the money that they brought in was supposed to go into that bounty, and that half it was supposed to go to the person who found it. That's what the rule said. Um, so the problem is somebody did find it, kind of ended the treasure hunt early, and the problem is that they showed off the sculpture like on the news and stuff, right? So all that stuff about like the hidden Bitcoin wallet words and stuff like that, that was all kind of exposed, and they didn't feel comfortable doing Bitcoin anymore, which is understandable. That's fine. But instead, what they decided to do, and I don't know why they would even like consider doing this. It's just nuts. Like I don't know what the thinking was there, but it's terrible. They decided to take the guy's winnings, that bounty money, that $87,000, and convert it to gold and just hide the gold out in the woods. And then they created a new puzzle to find that $87,000 in gold. And then they said, yeah, 87,000 in bounties. Yeah, so they hid that gold out there. And then they said anybody can look for it. Not just the guy who found the trophy, the guy who won that bounty, the rightful owner of that bounty money. They said anybody can try to solve this puzzle and go and find it. And that's exactly what happened. Somebody else found it, not the guy who is the rightful owner of that bounty money. So kind of sucks. I don't know how that's supposed to work out. Um, but yeah, it was such a cool treasure hunt. I was so like happy with that. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool format. I thought, these guys are on the up and up. It's something I don't mind recommending to people. But if anybody got involved or interested in that treasure hunt because I said something about it, I do apologize. I don't think many of you guys did, but if anybody did, I apologize because it was a shit show. It was not being like run very well. It ended in controversy. Pretty sure these guys, sure somebody's gonna get sued. Yeah, so somebody found the bounty last night. Um, and it was not the original finder. It was apparently somebody that he was talking to help him with that puzzle. So he was asking somebody to help him with that puzzle. This guy volunteered to help him and was supposed to be, somebody he could trust. And then the guy went off and, you know, went out to the woods and took the gold in the middle of the night. It was like midnight last night. on the East Coast. I was watching. Yeah, it's going to be a court. There's going to be a court. I mean, it's nearly $90,000. You can't just like you can't promise somebody $90,000 and then create a new treasure hunt and invite anybody to participate and then not expect that guy to be like, "Where's my money?" So I don't know how it's going to work out. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how it would do in court, but I feel like the guy's got a case at least. But anyway, I apologize for recommending the treasure hunt. It sounded cool. I thought it was cool. Turned out the guys were assholes. And I don't care if they watch. They don't watch my show, but I don't care if they do. Like I'll tell them to their face, "You guys are a bunch of assholes." They did not manage that very well. And it gives it like treasure hunt's a bad name. Um, like people who watch this show know that I'm into treasure hunts, and a lot of the people who do watch the show, they're into treasure hunts and stuff like that. And the thing with the treasure hunt is there's going to be like this trust there, right? So you have to trust that the person who created the treasure hunt really put the prize out there. You're not wasting your time looking for it, and that everything's on the up and up. They're not just trying to take your money and run. Because, without that skill base of like trying to solve a puzzle and stuff, it's pretty much the lottery. So there's like an incentive for these people who are just trying to do a cash grab to throw on a treasure hunt. And a lot of people think they're scams, and this is the reason why, because like so many of them end in controversy. I don't expect like everybody to know all the different histories of treasure hunts, but there was it kind of goes back to this kind of famous one called the Masquerade over in the UK, and that one turns out somebody who was living with the person and saw his plans for the treasure hunt ended up finding that, so that ended in controversy. Of course, Forrest Fenn, his major treasure hunt, that kind of ended in controversy. The uh, the guy who found it just disappeared, didn't tell anybody where it was. Forrest Fenn didn't tell anybody where it was. It was probably in Yellowstone, almost certainly in Yellowstone, which is like you're not supposed to hide treasure in Yellowstone. So I don't know. It's just like, is there any treasure hunt that is not like riddled with controversy? That's the one I want to participate in, or at least the one I want to recommend. There's a new treasure hunt coming out sometime this year. I don't know if it started already, but I don't think it has. Um, Called the Treasure Inside or something. It looks pretty cool. It's supposed to be like a couple $1 million, which is like probably the biggest treasure hunt that I've seen. And I don't know if I can recommend it just because of like I don't know. They always start off nice. Yeah, geocaches. I recommend geocaching. There you go. You think that stick man needs a few calories? He's a little light. That's funny. Um, yeah, geocaches. Those are nice. Actually, geocaches. Those aren't total. Because I can't say Yellowstone-ish. Everybody's got an opinion about where the treasure was, and I love it. I think that's one of the cool aspects of it. So, like, I don't know. I argue points all the time, like with other people who are into that treasure hunt, and I'll argue um, about like how the photos match a certain place or whatever. But I think it's great that people had a bunch of different ideas about where that thing was. I mean, that was part of the that's part of the interesting aspect to it, like that goes back to the early days, even when horsemen was still around. Everybody would argue about where it was, and like there was a bit of tribalism in it. Like the New Mexico people were like, "Oh, it's definitely in New Mexico. You guys don't know what you're talking about." And then the people in Wyoming would be like, "No, it's definitely in Wyoming." Um, but I think there was probably some heated arguments actually, but I think for the most part, people got along. I don't think anybody. Well, obviously, there's some crazy extreme people out there, but hey, Just Dave's in the room. Sorry, I saw that and didn't mention it. Um, anyway, yeah, there were some crazy people and stuff, but that wasn't the norm. The norm was just normal people like me and you and stuff who had passionate opinions about things. But yeah, that one ended in controversy. I don't, I don't know of any that hasn't. I think the big controversy with Forrest Fens is that, like, you know, I mean, the guy passed away. So, like, I think eventually he probably would have given more information. He was very social. He was into like communicating with the community and everything. Um, so I think had he lived longer, we probably would have had more info. But that's not the way it worked out. Yellowstone is geol cake, yellow cake, yellow cake. Pizza. That sounds good. Like that cat called Fuzzy. Oh, speaking of which, for those of you who was following my cat's health and stuff, cat's doing great. I mean, cat's still skinny. Archer is still skinny and not eating as much as I like. But I found some there's some cat treats. I forget the name of them. I have the thing around here somewhere. There's some cat treats that have like catnip in it, and he loves that. So like I'm trying to fatten him up just because he's super skinny right now because he had the liver issue. I'm thinking he's doing better, so that's good. Heads look very cute already. This is a hedgehog guy. This is a groundhog, not a hedgehog. I should do a hedgehog. Hedgehogs are cute, adorable. So, I mean, the idea is that you do fill in like some of these areas and stuff, and then as it dries, you kind of come back and add layers over it. I've done a number of these, and the process is almost virtually the same each time. So, like for example, if I wanted to make his eye super dark, I kind of like I need a base coat, and then I come back with like this kind of syrupy bit of coffee, which comes out really dark. Let me get this up here. Get that in there. Hopefully nobody missed me when I was gone last Thursday. I I tried to get like notice to you guys sooner than later. Um, I think I think I would have been more in like I think I'm more in trouble for not coming and doing a live stream on Friday because usually when I don't make a live stream, I try to make up for it the next day. So I can imagine some people might have been wondering if I was going to do like a Friday live stream, and then I just didn't get to it. So I apologize if anybody was waiting around for a live stream that never came. Rome says, I did. I held a message. This is gonna be fun. So I do think that Rome, I think that thing that I sent you where you can use your mobile device to live stream, I think that's probably the way to go. Now, that's not what I'm doing here. I'm using my Wi-Fi and I'm using my phone. And then I'm using like my desktop computer. I don't think I'm allowed to do that for that. I think you have to install the app on your phone and do the live stream through that. So I think it's going to be probably if we do it, so it would probably be like that. So you would use your phone or whatever. This is just me thinking out loud. Feel free to comment like or let me know if that doesn't work for you. But you would go on your phone, I would go on my phone, and then maybe we could do like a simple drawing or something because we're gonna be holding the phone or have it on a tripod or something like that. So I think it would be a little bit challenging, but I think we can do that. I think it'd be fun to just like do it like a drawing, both of us at the same time. That would be cool. I kind of want to do that with other people who draw, like just kind of like have a big drawing party. I bet you I could organize that. Just kind of like get the word out, kind of schedule it in advance. That'd be cool. And then for something like that, probably would have to do like a Zoom chat or something like that. I still want to look into like StreamYard, maybe. Geppetto's like looks like they grew longer. No, I think it's just the way he's sitting. Just Dave says I'm pretty decent at Ninja Squirrels. Yeah, we got to get Just Dave on like a live stream. Have you ever been? I don't think you've ever been. Have you been on like K Pros or Ben's or somebody else's live stream? I don't think you have. I would have noticed. Anyway, we need to get Just Dave on a live stream. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. We need to get all of you guys on a live stream. Just a big old party. Just a big old live stream party. That'd be cool. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. But you know, if you want to, hey, chime in. You don't have to draw a picture. But I think it would be kind of cool if we all just did like a big drawing set. Like say we just had like a big room with a lot of people in it. I don't know how this is supposed to work because I don't think like Zoom is free if you have like a lot of people. But if you did have, if you were able to see, because I can't into it, that'd be cool. So you know, get as many people in there as you can support. You know, like without paying like a through the nose. So get everybody in there, and then we all have like this task, right? So like maybe it's a just Dave says I have a face for radio. Hey, that's fine. You know, like you don't have to show your face or anything. Yeah, I think it'd be cool if you just showed up, but you know, I'm not gonna pressure you. But anyway, so I'm thinking, you know, everybody in like a chat room, we have like a drawing task or challenge. I think challenge is best. So like maybe the challenge is doing yeah, a big zoomy. Exactly. So maybe the challenge is doing a Sasquatch or something just to like, you know, to do it. Or maybe it's something simpler. Like I could see it like a Sasquatch being a little bit challenging for people. But you know, you could draw like a stick figure or something. Your dogs love Zoomy. So your dog talks to other dogs through Zoom? Because if so, that's awesome. I've seen some videos of that. You know, where people's dogs have like Zoom buddies. I think that's great. So for those of you, just to kind of narrate what I'm doing here, I am kind of going back over certain areas and kind of using a like a little syrupy mix to make them a little bit darker. This is where I use less water. Um, Takes a little bit of time because you can only do like so much with the amount of syrupy coffee that is on your brush. But this is how you get the dark areas. And you know, you just kind of keep building things up. A lot of these coffee paintings that I do, you know, I go over the same spot like, I don't know, 5, 10 times, something like that. Your dog was doing zoomies today. I might not know what a zoomie is because it like somebody explained to me what a zoomie is because I thought it was like a Zoom call with dogs on it. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. My dogs don't Zoom. My dogs are internet styles, like stars. When they run around like lunatics. Oh, okay, that's the zoomies. Gotcha. Okay, I thought I'm dumb. That's fine. That makes sense. My dogs do that sometimes. My dogs, especially Bear, because Bear's still kind of a little bit of a puppy. Sometimes, it's usually like before feeding time, she just kind of realizes that you're paying attention to her, and then she just starts like performing, really. She's adorable. Zoomies, that makes sense. I think I've heard that before. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Greyhound Zoomies are next level. Yeah, for those who don't know, Just Dave's got like a lot of greyhounds or has been around a lot of greyhounds. We've done a couple of drawings of his dogs in the past. I feel like I like it's been a while. We need to do another one of your greyhounds. I haven't done a greyhound. The only greyhounds I've ever drawn were for Just Dave, and I feel like we're we're in that times where it makes sense to do another one. We're coming up on the cold months. With the cold months, spend a lot more time indoors. You want to spend more time doing things in your art studio, like less time out exploring nature and stuff like that. And have real zoom pins they call. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, greyhounds are adorable dogs. I like them. Again, it's starting to get a little bit of a face here. I like it. Again, I see. So I go for walks often by like this creek. Creek. It might as well be like a river. And these little guys. It took me a while to realize they weren't like beavers because they hang out right by the creek, and they 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 just pop up out of the ground. They'll watch you for a little while and then they'll like go back underground and stuff. I love these groundhogs. They're adorable. They really are like the little Caddyshack guy. I don't know. Maybe that's something people don't. I feel like that's a cultural phenomenon. It doesn't matter how old you are. You're probably familiar with Caddyshack, but yeah, the little groundhog on Caddyshack. That's what they do, and it's adorable. I'm glad they went with a puppet for that Caddyshack movie. That just makes it so cool. That's one of those movies like they're always like looking for movies to remake and redo and stuff. I don't think you could ever redo like a movie like Caddyshack. That's one of those movies that just kind of have like just a cultural phenomenon that just can't be did. First off, you can't really replace those actors. So they try to do they try to redo these movies every now and then. Like they did a reboot of Arthur with I forget that guy's name. It'll come to me later, but they tried to do like a reboot of Arthur. You can't do a reboot of Arthur without Dudley Moore. Like I'm not that old, and I remember Dudley Moore. He was hilarious. That guy was so funny. So when they go mining the IP for new movies and stuff that they can remake, you gotta leave those classics alone. You really do. You can't redo Arthur. You can't redo Caddyshack. You can't redo Brewster's Millions. Like if they tried to redo Brewster's Millions, I mean, I could see them trying to redo Brewster's Millions. Maybe that would be okay. I don't know. Maybe update it to like Brewster's Billions or something. So that's with Richard Pryor. I love that movie. I saw it like a bunch of times as a kid. So basically, Richard Pryor is just a normal guy, and his he comes to find out that a grandfather of his, maybe like great grandfather, died and had like a lot of money, but he didn't want Brewster to just kind of like go off and spend the money like frivolously. He wanted Brewster to have like a respect for money. So he came up with this idea that he would give Brewster a challenge where he had 30 days to spend $3 million. I think that's how it went. 30 days to spend $3 million. And if he did, if he was able to do that, he would get the full inheritance of like 300 million or something like that. Um, So, I mean, it sounds like a simple challenge, but there were some like rules to it. Like you had to like not acquire any assets. So like at the end of the 30 days, you couldn't have like a bunch of new cars. You couldn't have like a bunch of new homes. Basically just the shirt on your back, right? And the idea was he wanted Brewster to spend so much money. They were so sick of spending money and just tired of it and over it. And I think that's such a smart thing to do. Like, you know, I don't think you should do that. I mean, that guy was a, a bit of an asshole. But if you ever wanted to give people money, um, like kids or something like that, like an early inheritance or something like that, doing something like that makes a lot of sense. Get them to really respect the value of money, and I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a good movie. I don't think that they could remake that. But because they can't said in today's economy, I can spend 3 million tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, Hey, I would love to spend 3 million tomorrow. I would love to spend 3 million in my lifetime. I don't know if that's going to happen, but hey, I hear what you're saying with inflation and stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Like if they did remake that movie, which I don't recommend, they would have to up that amount. That's why I said like maybe 3 billion. I think they would have to do like 30 million or something to bring it up to speed. So like 30 million in 30 days. I feel like that would be a good challenge for the movie to be able to do. It is really hard. So like yeah, you could spend 3 million tomorrow, but could you do it without accruing any assets? That was the challenge. Like I could spend 3 million on three Lambos or whatever. You know, I don't know what a Lamborghini costs, but I could buy three like $1 million houses or something. But that means I have assets, and that's against the rules. You know, you can't do that. So spending $3 million without accruing any assets, that's challenging. Like it's not like you can end up with like eating 3 million pizzas or 3 million tacos. There you go, Taco Tuesday. So yeah, you can't just buy 3 million tacos and give them out to like homeless people. That would be awesome, though. Like if that was something you could do, I would support that. Like if I had you know, different people have different causes they support. Um, you know, the things that they're passionate about. Like some people are passionate about the environment. Some people are passionate about um, I don't know, just different things. I always thought that like if there was a world like a problem I could solve, like I don't know how I would solve it, but if I had like unlimited resources and I tried to solve some sort of social ill with those resources, I think I would like to tackle the you know the homeless population issue because it's only getting worse. It sucks. Um, I've never been homeless myself, but when I was a teenager and I left the house and stuff, you know, there were there were nights when I was out there sleeping in my car as a teenager instead of going home. I always had a roof over my head. My parents were really nice about that, but they lived in a different town than the town that I was in when I was a teenager. What it was is that they moved out to the country. My dad retired and moved out to the country when I was like a senior in high school. So that was tough for me because I wanted to be around all my friends and things like that. So I decided to stay in town while they moved out to the country, and you know, it was by choice, and you know, I can't blame anybody, but it was tough. It was you know, I didn't have any money. I was crashing at friends' houses and stuff. Eventually, I got like an apartment and I rented a house and stuff. But you know, as a teenager, you really don't have any money to do that kind of stuff. So obviously, I didn't pay the bills like I should have. But you know, so, but I was never homeless, but it is one of those things where it's like I can relate to these guys, you know, like a lot of homeless people, they, you know, like the myth in people's minds is that homeless people are homeless because they just, you know, they don't want to work or they don't want to, you know, participate in society and stuff like that. Some of that it might be true. I don't know, like on a small scale, but I don't think that that's true of most homeless people. Most homeless people, it's just series of bad luck. And then also a lot of them actually have like mental problems. They have mental problems or they have like problems with substance abuse. And it's just something I care about. That's all. And if I ever had unlimited resources, I don't know how I would actually approach it, but that is something I would try to at least contribute to. You know what I mean? Because again, says I was a hard time homeless at one point. Yeah, so it's not that it's not as uncommon as people think. You know? Yeah, it's really hard. Thank you. That's kind of the point. So it is really hard when you have to go. So like, you know, people say like I don't know, get a job or something like that. It's kind of hard to yeah. Some people do have jobs and still can't afford housing. So that's the problem, right? So like, yeah, you go off and you get a job and stuff. But if you try to like, it's been a while since I've lived in an apartment. I own the house that I live in, but back when I was an apartment person, trying to save up for that first month's rent plus the security deposit and all that jazz while, like running around doing your thing. It is like, I don't know. I just feel like it is something that like a driven person could do. Like a person who is like pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I'm just going to do or die this situation and stuff. I do believe that. I do believe that a person who is able-bodied could pull themselves up by the bootstrap and make their way in life. But let's be honest, most people are not that, right? So if you imagine like the little old lady, who's homeless out on the streets and stuff, um, you know, like the crazy lady who's out on the streets yelling at the sky, that lady is not going to pull herself up by the bootstraps and just like, save up money and get an apartment. That's just not going to happen. The person who's out there on drugs or whatever, sure, maybe somewhere back in their history they were on drugs because they made a choice, but it was a bad choice. And guess what? It's no longer a choice. Now they have a chemical dependency. So I don't look at those guys as like people who are really in control of their lives anymore. If they're on drugs or something like that. Um, you know, I at least have empathy for them. So like, yeah, you can make the argument these people got themselves into this their own situation or whatever, but I don't make that argument. I think that that's kind of like a cop out. Feel like I feel like these people really do need help because they're not in control of their lives. So anyway, that's the thing I would tackle. I don't know how I would approach it. Uh, Sometimes I fantasize that like if I had $1 million, right? Like I was just a wealthy individual that did some internet startup and just had billions of dollars like Elon Musk or somebody like that. Um, I think it'd be kind of cool just to have like, I don't know, just buy entire apartment buildings and just you know, make them free to live in. I don't know. Maybe that's naive, but and the other thing is like I think that would be kind of fun. So like if you had an entire apartment building and you invited homeless people to come and live with you, you'd be having parties every night, right? Like you'd be you could have like pizza parties and stuff with a bunch of people that like are just living there, residents and stuff like that. I think that would be kind of cool. Now, I do recognize that's probably a little bit naive because most of your clients who would be living in your apartment, hotel, or whatever for homeless people, a lot of them probably going to have substance abuse. So you really need like some sort of programs and stuff like that to help with that. But anyway, I don't know how I got on this topic, but it is a topic that I actually care about. I do think that it would be the social project that I would take on if I was just like able to do whatever. Like I said, some people it's like environmental stuff. For other people it's animals, like um, humanitarian outreach for animals, whatever you think. For me, I would like to tackle homelessness. I think that would be cool. I don't have any practical ideas. I really wish I would. I should probably come up with some, so that I have some ideas if I ever did win the lottery. I think it'd be very unlikely for me to win the lottery just because I don't ever really play. I think we got a pretty good face here. I need to work on his hands, um, so that we have some definition there. So I'm going to do that real quick. But you see the process, right? So like you start off with some simple coffee, and you build up these areas so that you can add some features and stuff. Um, yeah, so some of these comments are really good. Life happens, people fall. It's how you deal with it that matters. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, there's so much stigma to these things, and I don't feel like there should be any stigma because it's completely like it comes from like again like just myths, straight up myths. Like the myth is that the person doesn't want to like pull themselves up by the bootstrap. I have arguments with people all the time about this kind of stuff. I don't know why, but like like they say, well, what about the person who really doesn't want to work? Like they're like that guy at Walmart who's asking for money and stuff like that. That guy, he looks able-bodied. He should be out, working and stuff like that. It's like, their mind is in their mind, this guy's just sitting around playing video games all day. And even if he was, that's probably not the normal. Yeah, that's probably the exception. So like the normal is that these people really are struggling. Like nobody wants to be poor, you know. It's not like people sit around like, yeah, I'm just gonna be poor and not do anything. Then I refuse to believe that's actually like the normal thing that people want. But I don't know. It's probably a complicated issue that would require some thought. I haven't put a lot of thought into it. I just thought it would be nice to help out that way. Um, Kid says, "Yeah, you can't win unless you play. I buy lottery tickets every week." I hear you. I really do. So I try to remember to. I just forget, and then like in my mind, I'm like, all those times that I forgot to buy lottery tickets, that's when I would have won. So what's your system, kid? Do you have like a birthday system? Do you have like favorite numbers? Do you just do it random every week? What's the deal there? What do you recommend to us on the lottery front? You sound like a professional. Uh, I know that some people do like lucky numbers. I had a cool idea for an app once. Maybe you guys like this idea. I don't know. I'll run it by you. Feel free to steal it because I'm probably not going to do it. I had this idea for an app that because I could build an app if I wanted to. Like I feel like I'm a slacker in heaven, but I could build this app. It'd be fairly easy. So I had this idea for an app where people would pick numbers and the ones that people have um, that are really popular would float to the top. Let me try to explain it. All right, so there's this concept called the wisdom of crowds. Okay, and I don't know if it rings true or whatever. There's some books written on it. I just heard about it and stuff at one point, and I thought, hey, that's kind of cool. I'll like look more into it, and I never did. But there's this concept called the wisdom of crowds, and that is that um, by and large, like say you go to like a carnival and there's a contest there to guess the weight of like a pig or guess the number of jelly beans in a jar, um, or guess I don't know. Like, that's a good example. So, like, guess how many jelly beans are in a jar. I think that's a good example. So, what they found, according to this book, I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what the theory is. You can look it up on like Wikipedia or whatever. But the theory behind the wisdom of crowds is that if you had individuals guess, like if I guessed the amount of jelly beans in that jar, and you guessed the amount of jelly beans in the jar, the likelihood that either of us individually being correct is very slim. However, if you average out all of the guesses, like everybody's guess, so like my guess, your guess, Richard's guess, Rome Dog's guess, Because I Can's guess, Larry's guess, if you average out all of those guesses, surprisingly, the crowd itself is usually correct, like closest to being correct. So like if there's like 1,000 jelly beans in that jar, you might guess there's 700. I might guess there's 1,400. It averages out to where the crowd as a whole is probably pretty close to guessing 1,000. It's just the way it works. So that's called the wisdom of crowds. So my thought for an app was that we would take this and apply it to the lottery. Now, it doesn't make very much sense for the lottery because the lottery is pure chance, right? So there really is no system that would beat it. But I always thought it would be kind of cool just to see what numbers people do pick and how that actually measures up to the actual lottery numbers. So my idea is that you would come in like completely blind. You would pick your numbers. You would pick all six numbers or whatever it may be. Like I don't know how many in the Mega Millions, but whatever the numbers is. So like you would pick the Mega Millions, you would pick the Powerball, you would do all that, and you would do it blind, so you don't know what other people picked. But after you made your pick, and that's set in stone, you could view what numbers are popular, and you could see like, Okay. So like I picked a six or something, but the popular pick is at like 10 or something like that. I don't know what the numbers are, but I thought that would be kind of cool. Um, just from like a novelty standpoint, it's just like a system you could try. I don't know if there's any like actual science to it or any real reason to do that, but I thought it would be kind of cool. And then what I would like to do, the reason why I would like to do that is that I would like to actually track to see how these numbers fare. So like after you make all your picks and I make all my picks and stuff, and we figure out what are the popular picks, I would like to keep statistics on that and see how that actually measures up to the actual numbers that are picked. So like, if like you made a pick and I made a pick and we made all these picks and stuff like that, and this week we did really well, like we matched up really closely to the actual picks and stuff. I would give like us a nice score off of that, and I would I would you know consider that like really really successful and stuff. Um, So I thought that would be kind of cool to like track that sort of stuff. And then the other aspect of it, I thought, you know, Just Dave says same chance of matching numbers, increased chance of being sole winner. Oh yeah. So there's some problems with it, right? So like if everybody is picking the same numbers, you could end up having to share the lottery. But I also thought it would be kind of cool. Larry is not commenting if he wants neighbors or not. That's funny. So I also thought it would be kind of cool for this app is I thought that like there would be some people, I don't know, like if they're psychic or whatever, or there's just lucky guessers and stuff who would fare better, right? So like if Just Dave is really good at picking lottery numbers, like each time he picks a lottery number, it's more likely to be correct than Jeremy, who picks terribly. Like I always pick the wrong numbers. Um, Permutations excluding numbers below 31 have a slight edge as to how many play birthdays. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Maybe there is something to this. I was going to call it Project Lottery or something like that. But anyway, um, so the idea is like if Just Dave is really good at picking numbers, like for some reason, just call it luck or whatever, he always ends up picking winners. And Jeremy sucks and he's always picking losers. You should want to follow Just Dave and see what he's picking versus what Jeremy's picking. Who cares what Jeremy's picking? He's a loser. But Just Dave, he's always picking winners, so you might want to actually piggyback on his guesses. Um, I thought that would be kind of like a cool aspect or like a feature of the app as well, um, where you could kind of follow people that you figure are better guessers. Um, that's about as far as I got with like feature ideas, but I thought it would be kind of fun, mostly just to kind of like track what people are guessing and just see how that fares to actual no, lottery numbers. So like I thought that would be fun just because I could build that app pretty quickly. That's another aspect of it. It's like it's not a complicated app. You can build that pretty quick. And I don't know. I think people might get in on board with it. I think people might enjoy it. I wasn't going to charge for it. I was just going to kind of keep track of things. Um, and there was one other gimmick to it. I was going to do this like as a social aspect to it, just like, because I enjoy doing like YouTube videos and stuff. The idea was that whatever is the most popular number, this was going to be the gimmick to it, where you could follow along on my progress. Um, Whatever number floats to the top, whatever's the most popular number, I will personally play that number every week, right? So I would go off and I would buy a lottery ticket based on what all of you guys picked is the winning numbers through the wisdom of crowds. So every week, regardless of what I thought about what would be the winning numbers are, I would definitely play those numbers that you guys all picked collectively as a crowd. So that was my app idea. I don't know, it might be kind of lame, but I thought it'd be fun. I think the reason why I didn't really do it is I don't really know what the rules are on like lottery promotion. Like in a way, it's kind of gambling and stuff. I didn't know if there was like regulation for that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, Jeremy, you're gonna have to look into that. And then I got lazy and I just didn't do it. But I still think that it'd be a fun app. You know, I don't know, like if there's any special rules to it or something like that. Like you couldn't show ads in it, for example, if it was gambling related. I have no idea. Dog's got the zoomies. Dog's back here zooming out. What are you doing, zoomy dog? Dog's back there like. Larry's all about borders. Great Groundhog Jay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's got a little bit of work to do to it, but it's starting to shape up. It's really so like for those who haven't seen me do coffee paintings and stuff, it really is just like layers upon layers of uh, coffee. He's got this belly. He's cute. That's kind of what I like about these guys. They have these like little pot bellies and stuff like that. They remind me of like a lot of people I know. See little beer bellies. Thanks. Thanks, Richard. Um, that's what I liked about the the little guys in the Caddyshack movie. He had the belly. He's like, he would start dancing and stuff. The groundhog has a very prominent belly button. He really does. He really does. He's really kind of cute that way. All right, so I think I'm going to start adding some. We don't know time here. Oh, we're under an hour. Wow, we're like I thought it was much later than that. I've already given out like some really cool app ideas. Given out some wish list of how I would like change the world for the better with the solving the homeless situation. I'm not really sure how I would solve the homeless situation. It's just something that I would love to tackle. Like I've never had. I mean, I drink, yeah, but I've never had like a drug problem or anything like that. I've known friends that have, so I can definitely sympathize and empathize. But as far as like what their needs are, like what actually helps them and stuff, um, the only thing I've ever really had like an addiction to is like I used to smoke. I don't smoke anymore, so I can at least relate from that standpoint. Um, and I have a coffee addiction that I haven't been able to kick. So I don't think that that applies very well. Um, the thing is, I don't feel like, you know, for somebody out there who's like addicted to heroin, for example, if I said, yeah, I used to smoke and stuff, I mean, I would feel like an asshole to like equate my smoking habit to their like really bad addiction and profound addiction that is causing such stress in their lives. But it is something I would like to help with. I think that would be kind of cool. The groundhog might need a cigarette. I can picture the groundhog like sitting there smoking. That would be funny. Jeremy, have you ever donated anything to Goodwill or thrift stores with your personal touch? That's a great idea. So, I have thought about that. That's a great idea, Richard. So here was my thought on that. I did take I did a I'm gonna do this again soon. Sorry, I'm like flustered here, but I did do a wood burning picture where I did some foxes like burnt into wood, and it turned out really well. And I thought it was so cool that I took that picture that I did and I put it out in the woods and left it there with like my email address on the back just to see if anybody would find it and write back and stuff. And sure enough, somebody did, and it was very rewarding. I want to do this again. So that was my idea for like a wood burning thing. My idea for Goodwill, I have kind of a similar idea. So what I would do at Goodwill is I would go off to Goodwill and pick up like a framed picture and like something dumb like flowers or something like that. Not that flowers are dumb. It's like an artistic focus. In fact, a lot of people like flowers when it comes to like doing pictures. Um, but like it would be like flowers or something like that. So I would take the flowers, I would take those out, and I would insert one of my pictures, and then the same thing, I would put my contact info in there or something like that, and then I would redonate the entire thing back to Goodwill. So I would go to Goodwill, buy a painting, take the painting out, put my painting in to the frame, and then redonate the frame back to the to Goodwill, and there's no point in doing that if you're not like kind of keeping track of like what happens and stuff. So I would definitely have like some way for people to contact me or something like that just to let me know that they received this. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a lot of fun. Kind of in the same way that I did the little foxes and put them out in the woods. I still have like video footage of that. I was going to post it, but I still haven't gotten around to it. But that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Jeremy, if you do a woodburn Sasquatch, will you come hide it in the woods next to my house for me to find? Absolutely, I will. Kid, I do come through. Like it's rare. Like I don't make a habit of it, but I do go through that area sometimes. Like I said, like most of my extended family live in South Carolina, so I'm often going through like the Asheville area, which I know that's not where you live, but it would be a small detour in order to head out that way. And honestly, um, where you live and stuff, that has been on my revisit list for a while. I went there once when I was young. I went there back as an adult. I'm kind of due for it. Like I love Helen's, Georgia. It's so cool. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, is this cool little alpine village in the middle of Georgia. It's kind of random. Like I think at some point in the 70s or something like that, they decided to like make an alpine Bavarian village in the middle of Georgia and stick to it. And it's still there and it's great and I recommend like as a tourist destination everybody visit there. So yeah, absolutely. But if I ever do find myself in that area, I will bring some art to hide for you because like you could deliver the art and stuff. I mean, that'd be fun, but it's so much more fun to find it. That one guy, so when I did hide the little foxes and stuff out in the woods, that guy, he was so appreciative. He found it with his kids. So like I don't know, he's about my age or something like that, but he had these I was gonna say he had these little kids and stuff. I don't know like what other size they come in, but he had a bunch of youngins, and they were out hiking in the woods and stuff. Um, it's not like the deep woods or anything like that. It's kind of a place where people go to hike or walk at least. And he was out there with his kids, and his kids found it and everything. And on the back of it, I had my email address, and he sent me pictures of them finding it and everything. I thought it was just so cool. So that's the kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I take personal enjoyment out of that because it takes me. Well, you guys see, like, I did that Fox picture. Relax, dog. I did that Fox picture in about 2 hours. Like, so it's not like it cost me a lot. I mean, the wood itself is just something I found out in the woods, right? So it's not like the wood has any price to it. The time and the effort to it, it's under 2 hours. So it's not like it cost me a lot. Um, but the excitement from that guy who found out in the woods with his kids and stuff, it was just so worth it. It was so worth it. I need to do that again. Like it made his day, right? Like to me, it was like, oh, okay, I did this picture. What am I going to do with it? I'm just going to throw it out in the woods. But to him, it was like that. It was the highlight of his day, and he thought it was so cool and all that stuff. So that stuff. I mean, how do you put like a I don't know, like a price or a value on that. I mean, it's just so much fun. Like who wouldn't want to do that, right? So yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I don't know if the Goodwill thing kind of has the same sort of ring to it, like the found art out in the woods and stuff. That's obviously fun. The Goodwill thing, I'd like to see my art in Goodwill. Like I would like for somebody to donate my art to Goodwill. It feels a little bit like a gimmick to go off and do it yourself, but I am not above gimmicks. I will do it just to see how it goes. Because I am kind of curious if somebody finds it in like Goodwill and they appreciate it and they do reach out to me. Because like I like that kind of stuff, you know. Dogs, you're gonna have to wait. It is not time. Come on, lay down, lay down, Dennis. You're doing good. Just relax. We're trying to do Caddyshack here. Okay, it's not time for you. Anyway, I think that that would be a lot of fun to do. Makes me sound kind of yeah. So like I don't know. I do like Banksy is like one of my all-time favorite artists and stuff. It's not like Banksy stuff is all that complicated, or like, you know, it's not like it's high art or anything. But what I like about Banksy is the kind of like the gangster running around in the middle of the night, popping these pictures up overnight kind of thing. I love that aspect of it. So yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to like do um Goodwill type art. But I don't know. I just want to see people like enjoy my art and stuff. So like if I can get my art into anybody's hands, that's always good. I don't care if they buy it at Goodwill. I don't care if they find it out in the woods or whatever. Um, I've told you guys the story about how when I was a teenager, me and my friends snuck down into some sewer drains, and we painted like a mural, like in spray paint, basically graffiti on the walls of a like a drainage culvert. Um, you know, that was solely just to see if like anybody ever come across it. Like we would never meet the person who saw that art, right? Like, and it wasn't like really cool. It was just basically, it wasn't like spray painting our names or anything like lame like that. Like that's straight up graffiti. Like I made an effort. I tried to do like the three of us, me and my friends, like kind of like on the wall as like kind of like I don't know. It was supposed to be like a mural of me and my friends. Um, it was kind of dumb, but anyway, the point is that it's not like we would ever know who found that. You know, like if somebody ever was actually down in the drainage culverts and stuff like that, it's probably like a maintenance worker. There's no way that we would ever see those people. And then you know, chances are that would probably like drain off over time anyway and disappear. I don't think that it would remain there. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like one of those things where, you know, you put these things out into the world. You don't know if anybody's ever going to see it, but it's still kind of fun, you know, like it's almost like an inside joke. Rome Dog says, yeah, a black ops artist. That's what I want to be. I want to be a black ops artist. Um, so yeah, yeah, totally. The whole goodwill thing, the whole leaving things out in the woods. That's all my things I'm interested in. I like those ideas. All right, so I'm going to throw in a little bit more stuff here to kind of like drain down just because I'm getting to that point where down here needs some work. Jeremy, your groundhog light is looks like he's about to say vroom vroom. He really does. He looks like oops, he looks like got somewhere to be. There you go. I like those drips and stuff. All right, relax, Don. Okay. So what I like to do at the bottom of these pictures is I do like to take a lot of. So I'm using ground copy here. I don't know if I mentioned that at the outset, but what I like to do down at the bottom is I like to create these like little textured areas. Any of you guys who have received any of my copy art, like art in the mail, you guys have probably seen these little areas. It's where I just kind of like dab in the coffee just to create these like really dark areas to kind of like abstract the character that I'm drawing out a little bit. Rum Dog says, "Will you let me live in Florida, Larry?" I enjoyed living in Florida when I lived there. I really did. It got kind of hot. I can't recommend it for everybody, but I enjoyed it. I can maybe see retiring there someday. I think I'm more of a mountains guy though. Like if I ever retired, it would be up in the mountains instead of like by the sea or whatever. So get some of that going. I wanted to kind of like abstract this out. Just kind of let that dry a little bit. Let's see. Dog. Shh. Dog's over here whining. This to the side. How are we doing on time? We're not doing too bad on time. This Groundhog's kind of like a little small character. Doesn't take a ton of time. Getting down to the 30s. Oh no. It has been really cold. What was it? Saturday or Sunday? One of those days, I went to a bonfire with some friends, and it was the first time I broke out like a hoodie to wear. Oh, did anybody catch the Northern Lights? I think I finally saw that. I've been trying really hard to see those Northern Lights every time they say that. Oh, it's coming down. Down into your like neck of the woods. Probably places like I don't know Georgia and Florida. That's probably a bit far, but around here, um, this is the second time that I can recall in recent memory that there was Northern Lights to see, and I think I actually saw them. And so like it was not something that you really see with the naked eye so much, but it was something that I was able to see kind of like as a tinge on like the horizon. Like it was so hard for me to see, but um, it kind of showed up as like almost like a rainbow. So like you know how rainbows. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, kid. You know how like you see a rainbow that's kind of faded out, and you can barely see that it's got like some reds and yellows in it and stuff. That's how the Northern Lights were for me. So like it was one of those things where you had to like look, and it's like hey, that is kind of like reddish on the horizon. Um, and like I I thought it was kind of cool. I use my camera like they recommend to kind of like up the light and everything. And on the camera, it definitely shows up. And I thought it was like awesome because like that's been on my bucket list forever. I've always wanted to see that. I still want to kind of go to like you know the actual places where you're supposed to be able to see that, but just to be able to see it like in my neck of the woods, even as little as I did, it was really cool. All right, so I kind of lost some of the like the paw in here, so I'm gonna have to rebuild that in at some point. I may have to like let this part dry a little bit before I can do that, but just wanted to let you know that there should be a paw like a paw in there. Yeah, I guess I probably shouldn't mention that to you guys because like a lot of you guys live down south and you guys wouldn't have been able to see those northern lights. I can see how like you guys might be upset by that. So I apologize for bringing that up, but it would have been cool if you guys saw it. So like, oh, now that I think about it, the eclipse was earlier in the year too. So that's two celestial events, sort of, that I saw in the same year. Well, the eclipse was definitely a celestial event. The northern lights being this far down south, that was just like icing on the cake. So I kind of forget sometimes that the eclipse was earlier this year. That was really cool. I think I shared a video of that on my community page. So like if you wanted to check that out, feel free. Or it's somewhere in the videos. There was a there's like a brief 30-second clip of like that eclipse. But it was so like interesting, you know. It's one of those things that like you're probably not going to see again. I guess you could travel to go and see it in the right place, but no, I'm probably not going to see it. I just like moving coffee around and stuff on the paper. It's so fun for me because it really is like you spill coffee on the page and you're like trying to direct it into being a picture. I like that. All right, so I'm going to move back up into the face now that we've got, a body here and stuff like that, and just try to really draw out some of these details. And of course, some of this is already in here pretty well. I don't want to like overwork it. But some of this stuff could use some work. Because unfortunately, these coffees are like kind of a glaze. They're so thin as far as layers go. You really have to like go over them multiple times to build them up. Which is cool though, because like a lot of times, people who paint in different mediums and stuff like that, they do use like a glazing technique. So it's not that unfamiliar to me, or nor should it be to you if you are into painting. It's still my goal. Like I know I'm running out of time, but it's still my goal to actually get these pictures into that coffee shop. I feel like I can do it by the end of the year, just to kind of like cross off my list. I've got a number of pictures. Um, I just don't have the frame for them yet. Yet. I have to remind myself that my goals are something that I can achieve. So I shouldn't say I will never do them. I will say I haven't done them yet. This little guy is pretty cute. Like as far as the details go, you just have to kind of take your time. It's a lot easier to kind of like put in, general areas of coffee and stuff like that. The details, they do take a minute. Hit me with the snowball kid. There has been some weird weather down south. So like I remember when I used to live in places like Georgia, the most it ever got down to was like 40 degrees. Now you might actually end up with snow. This groundhog looks like he was asleep, smelled the coffee, and perked right up. Yeah, he does. He looks like he just popped up out of a hole. I don't know if that's because the picture that I'm working off of kind of had that vibe to it, but he does look like he just kind of popped up out of a hole and is saying hi. I mean, that's what groundhogs do. The ones that I encounter whenever I'm out walking around and stuff, that's exactly what they're doing. They just popped out of a hole. They don't care either. Like you would think that groundhogs would be like scared. The ones around me, they are not. They will pop up out of a hole. Now, if you walk towards them, they might go back in the hole. But if you're just walking around, they don't care. They're like squirrels. Squirrels don't care. Um, I was gonna ask, has anybody seen any good movies that they would recommend for Halloween? I saw Beetlejuice, so even though that'd be a great recommendation, that's not what I'm talking about. So like something on, I don't know, Hulu, um, Netflix, something like that, that would be good for Halloween. I'm looking for something that's got Halloween vibes to it. I feel like this is a season for that kind of stuff. Sometimes I just want to kind of like chill out, curl up in a ball with like a nice little blanket over me or something, and watch like a nice scary movie. I don't know what I really so like there's so much difference in like scary movies. I'm not sure what I really like. So there's some scary movies that are kind of like I don't know, more like comedies. There's like legitimately creepy movies. There are some that are I don't I don't know how to describe them. I think I like I think I like a genuinely scary movie. Like I don't know if you guys remember Blair Witch Project when it first came out. Like it was pretty popular when it first came out. It's probably something a lot of people have moved past now. Um, But when Blair Witch Project first came out, that movie was scary. And what I liked about that movie is that like there wasn't a lot of stuff on screen that should make you scared. Like, yeah, just Dave knows what I'm talking about. Um, it was more like what you didn't see that made you scared. So like I don't want to spoil it for like the youngsters that haven't watched it or whatever, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So like a lot of the movie was them just wandering around. Yeah, it's all imagination. Exactly. Yeah, so they're just wandering around the woods. Um, and then you never see anything actually appear on camera. There's just like, you hear like a rustle in the woods or something like that. And for anybody who's gone camping or like gone on like a long extended hike where you're like far away from society, um, that does get pretty scary. Like if you're out in the woods and like there was a couple of scenes where they encountered like stuff that was just plain spooky. So like there was like sticks that were lashed together that kind of looked like people. There was I don't know, just random stuff that they encountered out in the woods and stuff like that. If you were walking around the woods and you were far away from like people. Now, I'm not talking about like the woods, like you drive down the road, you go for a walk in the woods and it's like a mile loop or something. No, I'm talking about the real forest, right? Like if you're out in the woods, woods, and you're walking around and you see that kind of stuff that they had in Blair Witch Project, you would shit your pants. For real. You would be like, I am not making it home today. I wish I had told my mom that I loved her because I will never see her again. That is like that is the feeling. So like Blair Witch Project was spot on with that kind of stuff. It's kind of cliche now just because it's been out for so long, but they nailed it. They nailed that kind of just like spooky. You don't know what's going on, and to a lesser degree, just because like I feel like they kind of overdid it with Paranormal Activity. That series was pretty good too. So like Paranormal Activity, especially the first couple of movies, was just like these these kind of like night sensitive cameras and stuff like that that was filming these things that were kind of largely the same thing. These little subtle stuff. Like you can watch these things on YouTube. Like if you went looking for just like spooky videos on YouTube and stuff, you'll see these videos where they'll have like a doll or something, just like a normal doll just sitting there, and then all of a sudden it'll like blink or it'll turn its head or it'll like wink at you or something like that. That kind of shit's scary as fuck. It really is. Sorry about my language, but that stuff is scary. Um, that sort of stuff. Uh, yeah, like if you could put that into a movie, like Paranormal Activity did or Blair Witch Project, I think that's so much better than like I don't know, like It or Exorcist, not Exorcist, the Conjuring, the one with the nun, whatever that one was. Um, you guys know what I'm talking about. I think those subtle scares are so much better than that kind of like blatant scary movie kind of like vibe. But I love that kind of stuff here, like during the like Halloween season. Um, but then like I like other things that are like not as scary, like they're kind of goofy, funny kind of stuff. Like I really like What We Do in the Shadows. Um, if you guys ever get a chance to watch that, that's some hilarious stuff. Um, Kid says, we camped 12 miles in the backcountry in Yellowstone National Park. We heard stuff all 3 nights. I thought we were going to die. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of scare I want during Halloween. I want I'm walking in Yellowstone in the middle of the night in grizzly bear country. I think I'm gonna die. That's the kind of scary I want. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I can put myself in that situation mentally, and yeah, that is terrifying. It really is. Um, Camp 12 miles in the backcountry. So you were out there in the middle of the night. That's just nuts. Wow, you are braver than I am for real. I would not do that. Like, I would not camp out in the backcountry like that. That is nuts. Man. Yeah, because like grizzly bear country, I ain't doing it. But yeah, that's the kind of scares I would like. I would love to have that kind of scares at Halloween. Um, there's kind of a scare fest in town that I was thinking about going to this weekend. It's kind of like a Comic Con, but it's more for like scary movies. So like instead of meet your favorite comic book author, you would meet like Clive Barker or something, somebody like that. And I always thought that was kind of cool. There's like there's this fandom out there for scary movies that is just as crazy as any other fandom that you've ever been involved in. So like people who watch scary movies, they love scary movies. They go out of their way to watch scary movies. They know every single actor who's ever been in any Halloween movie or Friday the 13th movie. Um, just like any other fandom, there's just like nerds who just kind of nerd out over that kind of stuff. I love that. I was thinking about going to that, but I don't know. I would. I can't do that. No, like we heard the wolves. I would pack up and leave. What? If you could hear wolves and you're out in the woods, you've got nowhere to go. No, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I don't care. Like you were out there looking for that treasure. That's what it was. That's why you didn't leave. But no, I would have packed up and left. I would have been like, nope, screw this. You can keep your gold. I don't care. Like I am not being eaten by a wolf. I don't care how much gold is in that chest. I'm out. Um, I like so this time of season especially, but just in general, I do like like weird animals, cryptids, things like Bigfoot, Mothman. I think the Mothman Festival is actually in September, so that's a little bit before this time. But yeah, uh, I love stories like that. I love stories about like extraterrestrials around this time of year. But yeah, every now and then, you see something like that. Like I was out hiking a couple of years back, and I saw what looked like off in the distance. I really don't like to this day know exactly what I saw, but I was out hiking kind of like in some cornfields and stuff. I was walking my dog, and in fact I was really afraid my dog was gonna like jump his leash and go after this thing. But I was walking in like a cornfield that I really wasn't supposed to be in, but other people go walking in it, so I didn't really care. But it was basically a cornfield, and I saw off in the distance what looked like a dog to me. It basically looked like a dog, and I'm trying to think of like what kind of dog it looked like, and I probably couldn't describe it, but it looked like a dog to me, but it was as big as a deer. So it was the size of a deer, but it looked like a dog. To this day, I have no idea what that it was because in my mind, there's nothing that looks like a dog that is that size. It was so strange. And I kind of waited for it to leave before I even moved because I was so afraid my dog was going to jump his leash. This isn't these dogs. It was a couple of years back, so it was a previous dog I had. Um, I was afraid my dog was going to come off his leash and go after it, and that would have been weird because I'm pretty sure it was like an extraterrestrial dog or something. That would have been awkward. Yeah, kid, I knew it was for Forrest Finn's treasure, so like you're like, well, maybe I can deal with some wolves, because I'm gonna find this gold. No. No, that is bad. That is bad thinking. That is treasure hunter thinking. It's not good. Yeah, treasure hunters have bad thoughts. They are not. They get on this thing where it's like, I'm gonna find this gold or I'm gonna do whatever, and the ends justify the means. You can go off and, you know, be a little bit dangerous and stuff because you're gonna find this gold. It's not good. It's not good. It'll get you into trouble. And there's future treasure hunts out there where there's going to be this boots on the ground aspect. You need to think safety first. I'm not going camping with wolves. That's where you draw the line. Like it's one thing to go looking for treasure out in the woods. It's another thing to go camping with wolves because they're going to get you. And if they don't get you, the grizzly bears will. I think that's good advice. Avoid the wolves. That said, I probably would have done the thing. Same. Was Kevin Costner in that? Like camping with wolves? That's funny. Hey, Mama Q, how's it going? Yeah, it's been a little while. Um, but that's because you got the new job. You know. That congratulations. I think this guy's looking pretty good. I think we're probably getting pretty close to the end just because I'm running out of things to do here before this dries. There's an aspect of this after it dries where I will come in and put like additional details, but I gotta let it dry first. Yeah, going super busy. Can relate to that. I have been super busy myself. Like this is fun for me just because I've been super busy and like this is my downtime. But yeah, like you know, movies like Blair Witch Project and stuff like that, it's really hard to kind of capture that sort of lightning in a bottle again. I think they only spent like I don't know, like it wasn't a lot of money. I want to say like less than 50 grand. I'm not really sure, but it was certainly less than 200,000. It was not a lot of money, and it ended up making so much money just because nothing else had ever come out like that, where you had this raw experience of being out in the woods and stuff when there is this like witch or some sort of ghost or something like basically tracking you out in the woods, and you're like well, this is fine and stuff. I'll just walk back to the car. Forget this. I'm out. I'm not dealing with no ghosts. I'm not dealing with no witches. I'm going home. But then everywhere you go, you're in like this big loop and stuff like that. You try to leave, and guess what? You're stuck there. And then you start wondering, I don't think I'm going to make it out of here alive. That's the kind of Halloween I like. Kind of Halloween where you don't know if you're going to make it out alive. Oh, Mommy Q, you watch Joker? Yeah, what did you think of that? Because I have not been hearing good things. I have been hearing that compared to the first, like the original, like not the original, the Joker that came out in what 2020. It is so different, and there's a lot of people who are not happy with how that movie went. So I am interested in your perspective because I trust your judgment. So if you think it's worth watching, I will go watch it. But I have not heard good things about it, which kind of sucks because I really like the original Joker. I thought that that was a really good character study for uh, a character that is usually only in Batman movies. I thought they did a really good job with the original Joker. So you let me know what you thought of that movie, and if you think it's good, I will go and watch it. Otherwise, actually, you don't even have to go and watch it. It's probably going to be out on streaming soon because it is not doing well in the theater. I did watch Beetlejuice. I think I might have mentioned it. Mama Q says, I'm not a comic purist, so I loved it. Stephanie Germanato Nada? I can't pronounce that. Is so talented, plus it was a musical. Okay, so you're giving me a thumbs up. All right, well, hey, I trust your judgment, so I will go and watch it based on your recommendation. I was gonna wait until it came out on streaming just because it's been getting some controversial reviews, but if you think it's a thumbs up, I will go and watch it. Because I wouldn't want to watch it and it completely suck. And it doesn't sound like that's the case. The whole comic purist stuff. I think from what I've heard, um, even the first Joker and stuff wasn't really like following a comic storyline so much. The thing about Joker is he never really had a backstory in the comics. It was always one of those things where it's like, choose your own idea of what his backstory was. So you know, like if you watch the Dark Knight series with Heath Ledger's Joker, he's always like, you want to know how I got these scars, talking about the scars on his mouth and stuff like that. And he would tell a different story each time. That is probably the comic book accurate Joker, where he never really had like a solid backstory. It was one of those things where it's like, unreliable narrator. You don't really know what's true. You don't really know like what is the true story there. Um, so from that aspect, like the original Joker and stuff like that was not anything different. Where like it was canon or comic book accurate or anything like that. It was just kind of a story they were telling. So I don't think there's really any kind of requirement for the second movie to be like comic book accurate or anything. I don't think anybody cares about that stuff. They just they just care about whether or not it's a good time, whether it kind of undermines the first movie, that sort of stuff. But if you enjoyed it, I will watch it. I may wait until it comes out on streaming. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. It's a matter of time, really. Like I'm not sure. Like when I'll go to the theater. But I think this guy looks pretty cool. I think we're probably going to wrap this up. There are some things that I need to do after it dries. So like whenever I do these coffee paintings, this area down here usually gets pretty wet, and you have to let it dry before you can add more layers. So like this area here, you can kind of see how it's pulled a little bit. You can see how these like streaks and stuff have kind of pulled down at the bottom. You gotta let all that dry. You gotta let that dry, and it'll probably come out as like a pool or something like that. Um, but with these like dark edges and stuff like that, it makes sense to have like another dark edge in here. But you kind of have to like let this dry first, or else it's just gonna kind of spread out and like take on its own kind of like shape or whatever. Mama Q says, looks great. What a cute dude. Thanks. Um, I do kind of want to like get more fur-like things down here underneath his chin. I think the eye's probably pretty good, but I'll take another look at that. But I think this is probably a good start. With these things, I always come back and I tinker with them a little bit more in the morning after they've dried. So I think this is a good stopping point for this guy. All right. So, yeah, so I'll go ahead and let you guys go. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Tuesday night. I think like an hour and a half. That's pretty good, so that I can let you guys off the hook. Um, the 1979 movie Salem Lot scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. See, that's what I'm looking for this Halloween. I'm looking for like classic movies that really scare the crap out of you. Like, it's not really well, it's a classic movie now, but like Creep Show was really kind of like a good scary movie. I remember as a kid watching The Exorcist and thought that was really spoopy, like it's spoopy, really scary. I saw the definitely scoopable, but American Werewolf in London, that's a great movie. I like that, Just Dave. And then like the later one that they made, American Werewolf in Paris, that wasn't so bad either. So American Werewolf in London, that's a classic for sure. I will watch that. Um, let's see. Glad I caught you. Lots of love to all of you amazing art peeps. Hey, right back at you, Mama Q. I appreciate it. Uh, Just Dave says I refuse to attempt to rewatch talking about the American Werewolf in London. So that is a great movie. That probably is one of the best werewolf movies, to be honest with you. That kind of like defines the genre. But anyway, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We're gonna finish up this guy in the morning after he dries, and then These crazy dogs. We're gonna let this guy dry and then put on the finishing touches. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Tuesday. I will be back on Thursday. I know I wasn't back on last Thursday, but that's okay. I will definitely be back this Thursday. Until then, I'm not sure what we're gonna work on. I got to get in contact with Rome Dog and work out this whole like shared stream thing, but. I really like the idea of doing a like a Zoom or something where multiple people can get in on that. So expect something of that nature in the future. I don't know exactly when, but we'll see. Definitely going to do a Sasquatch at some point by request. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a good one. Bye. Thanks.